Alright, Shalom Akim.
Shalom.
Before we start, I want to begin by giving infinite praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Kakadash.
Double honors, of course, to the apostles and elders, I agree most of them, and to teach and rule well. And peace and blessings be unto you, fellow Akim, your brothers that also push out this word in truth, faith, and in sincerity, and as well as to you faithful listeners, we say Shalom. And I don't know what to say in this lesson. I'm just going to be, me and this brother, we're going to be bringing out certain scriptures, harping on the point of the significance of the garments, all right? Because here, as well as other Israelite camps, all right, men that preach the true doctrine of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, we understand one thing is that what we wear garments, all right, with the border blue and the fringes, as Akim have seen throughout the whole world, really, every video and every camp, are starting from our apostles on down, as I aforementioned, all right, and our elders, all right, before them, the elders below them. Every Akim, all right, every brother has a garment, all right, and there's a significance behind it. All right, and the reason why we're speaking on this is because just this past week and Saturday, I'm not sure if he spoke on it on the main camp, but with the extensions, if Akim know the extension channels of DC Heralds, as well as the Knights of Yahushai, as well as the DC Nickel Enemies. If I'm not mistaken, we did indeed touch on it a little bit. All right, and it's very important. It's a basic topic, but it's good to go into. So you can start Numbers because it is a law. Yep. Numbers 15, 15:37.
Yeah, this is the book of Numbers 15:37, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, "Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue."
Yeah, so there you have it. That's the law. And the thing is, this is not only this isn't just a commandment that was written on the stone, but it was by word, by Moses from the Lord himself.
It's a deeper reading.
So so it's not just a cool fad, and it's not something that we just put on because men in the ancient world used to wear it, which that is true, but it's not. It's more than what people think, and people like to insult us and say that, we're wearing dresses and skirts and this, that, and the third, when really they didn't even know what their eyes are beholding right now.
Yeah. Not
realizing that there's, as the scriptures is going to say it, there's a high significance to it, even if it is, the law, quote unquote. People like to believe it's not something that we have to perform,
Yeah, if I can say too. Mm-hmm. That's why Apostle Paul said that the law is spiritual.
Get that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to jump the gun, but I'm just the reason I'm mentioning what he said, because we're gonna read it anyway. But he said that for a reason. The law is spiritual. Everything about the law is spiritual. Everything had a significance behind it, and a reason behind it. It had a spiritual meaning, because in this thing of ours, there's always a spiritual significance to the things that we do. Even with, for example, the smudging, I know me personally, I like to bring the incense to burn at camp. There's a spiritual meaning behind that. And all brothers do it around the world. There's a reason we burn sage, Palo Santos, the different incense, the different myrrh. There's a spiritual reason behind it. Even down to the garments. There's a reason why we wear border blue. And there's a reason why we wear a garment that covers our body. I'm going to keep reading.
Yeah.
Verse 39.
Mm-hmm. Read at 41.
Yeah.
Let's read through it.
Yep. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, and do them. Mm-hmm. And that ye seek not after your own heart.
Keep reading.
And it's a lot. That you seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a whoring. That ye may remember and do all my commandments and be holy unto your power.
Yeah. See that? See all that? That's almost I don't even got to break it down, really. It's self-explanatory. Yeah. The reason why these things are in place, the reason why we wear these holy garments, because that's what it is. Also, it's holy. We're set apart.
Yep.
And it's almost like actually it is. It's a signet. If you can grab Romans, we quoted it, Romans 7 and start at verse 12. Mm-hmm. All right, Romans 7 and 12, because it's and you gotta remember, this really is something to truly behold. I mean, it's a spectacle. You gotta remember, people, in every major city in America, and as well as every other part in the world, men are, it's already a sight to see when you have men in unison, having Bibles in their hands and actually, speaking, right? Speaking and prophesying and with great boldness, telling you what's to come. And how much more with the man's attire. A man's attire says a lot about him. And here it is, around the highways and hedges, and we wear our garments. Right, brothers have different even brothers have different ways of wearing it. Nevertheless, the border of blue and the fringes are still there. Like the scripture just said, because what we're it's symbolic. We're showing the world, hey, I am an Israelite, a Hebrew Israelite from my respective tribe. I don't live unruly. I don't live my life like brute beasts. I'm a man of the Lord. All right, and that's how it's supposed to symbolize to the world, and that's to yourself. Really, it's also like a remembrance of who you are. Almost kind of like how in your average stereotypical superhero flick, what does a superhero wear? He wears he dons a costume of sorts that's more than likely vibrant, and why? It's supposed to be a resemblance of his power. Things like that. So it's the same way with the garment.
Yeah. If I can say, that's every culture. You see, that's what made us separate, though. Every culture had their gods. Every culture had their foods. Every culture had their diet, right? Every culture had their way, even of fashion. The physical apparel. Every culture had their way. Ishmael has their own way of dressing. Elam, Ham. Well, Ham don't wear no clothes sometimes, but still, right? What else? Moab and Ammon. What? You can tell the difference between a woman that is an Ammonite and a woman that is a Moabite by their apparel. Yeah. The Japanese, so-called Japanese, their dresses, their women wear different dresses. They wear kimonos. And in China, they don't wear kimonos. They wear a different style of it. I think it's still called the same. Yeah. But even they have their own apparels. And what's ours? Ours was garments with the border of blue on the fringes, like it said in the law. That was, and people knew, that's an Israelite. Yeah. Because they had, even in ancient times, that's why even now, when they see us, I mean, some people are really ignorant, and they're like, oh, you guys Muslims? But the ones that are in the know, they're like, nah, those are Israelites. They got the border, they got the fringes on. They got fringes.
The clear indicator of who you're dealing with.
Even if it's on a t-shirt, they know. They're still like, oh, those are Israelites because they got fringes on.
Yeah.
We don't look like Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
Romans
7:12.
Romans 7:12. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good.
That was verse 12, right? Skip to verse 14. Yeah, the reason why I had to brother read that is because it pretty much just hammers in on the point, even like what we just read in Numbers. Holy, all right? And then just in front of men, Because you got to think about it. From the outside looking in, meaning to put yourself in the shoes of a heathen, right? Lord forbid, right? Okay. But you are looking at Israel, whom you have heard, like Deuteronomy 7:6. We're that holy people that the Lord hath chosen. And we have laws, statutes, and commandments that people look and hear and say, wow, it's almost as if the Lord truly have given us the keys and of how to live our life.
Yep.
Right? So here it is. Again, that attire goes a long way. And that's why we push heavy, even though it is a law. But guess what? It's a doable law. And not only that, wearing a garment, as, roughly paraphrasing our Apostle Gabar, Elder Apostle Gabar, is the fact that our garments are supposed to look, what's the word? Majestic and lavish and beautiful. It's actually a righteous attire the Lord has given us to actually wear, to don, right? And it's actually just in the eyes of the Lord to do so, to wear it. And again, a resemblance of to really in this time, almost as if really just Yahweh Shai also, of course, relating back to the man himself, who had even himself a garment as well, in the vision of in Daniel's.
Yeah, it's funny, everything is spiritual, because I was actually thinking about this earlier today. Before you even told me what lesson we was gonna do, I was thinking, because the reason I was thinking about it is because there's this singer, his name is El Main, I think, I forgot, but he looks like a Cushite, but he's a Jake. And he actually wears that for whenever he's on camera, he'll wear a robe that's down to the foot. Like, you don't even know what type of shoes this guy wears, right? And he has a big afro and a big beard. And I'm like, yo, that's probably how it was with us. And when you look at him, you can't tell what he's into. You can't tell if he's into sports. You can't tell nothing. He just looks, I don't want to say he looks holy because he's in the world and all that, but in a way he kind of does. Because it's like, yo, he doesn't look like he's into anything that's wrong, He not wearing jeans or ripped jeans or crazy shit. He just wears a long robe with nice colors. And you're just like, yo, what is this man about?
Yeah. Yeah, you could just go to verse 14.
Romans 7 and 14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin.
Yeah, and if you can go to Job, the book of Job, chapter 29 and verse 14. Yeah, so straight up, and like the brother quoted earlier, all right, that was it. All right, how even the Apostle Paul had to put it out there that the law in itself is spiritual, because you got to understand that even in the New Testament, yeah, sure, of course, the whole rah-rah about the law and how the law doesn't save you. Even in today's time, of course, it's a huge controversy, but here it is. We know that it's belief in Yahushai, all right, it's belief in the Heavenly Father through Yahushai, all right, and as well as our works, all right, and the faith behind those works. And those works include wearing a garment.
Yeah.
All right. And it's all spiritual, and it's all spiritual because, and the brother mentioned it too, how you have men also that would wear garments too. Because there's the flip side. You have men, all right, that know that they're Israelites and that teach. But Akim, is that enough? No. Because we have different sections of and different groups of Israelite men. All right, and just this past camp, as we was going into that, we were speaking about those Israelites that, like it said in the book of Jude, we don't have to get it, chapter 1 and verse 10, all right, about the brute beasts that gone after the ways of Cain. So you have Israelite men, and as well as these 2/3 that may or may not know, really, irrelevant, but mainly the Israelites that know, all right, and that have the have the audacity to pick up a garment, a border of blue and some fringes, and yet here it is, their garments are filthy.
The spiritually,
not their actual garment, right? But what they decide to wear in a spiritual aspect, meaning in the way how they live their life, is not the ways.
Filthy.
Yeah, it's filthy. It's not in the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And I actually want to mention as well, it even shows. See, that's how you know it starts with the spiritual, and it's gonna show physically. Brother mentioned it earlier, right? T-shirt garments. Seriously, there's still camps out there that have garments, lavish garments, but they're rocking the so-called Star of David.
Yeah,
Garments that's just brothers know what the good old purple garments. Again, nothing wrong with the assortment of colors, but when you're coming a certain way when in appearance, it's gonna say a lot about who you are.
Yeah,
who you're rocking with, what doctrine you got.
That's funny because Salakia, I was gonna say, with IUIC, their garments resemble that. Some of them, their garments resemble that of the same wear as the Freemasons, and which that's wrong. You shouldn't be copying anything Esau be doing, right? But also with them, all right, they have the nicest garments, but spiritually speaking, they're gone. Spiritually speaking, they're nothing but dead bones, man.
Yeah, the garments they're moth eaten.
Yeah,
maggot ridden. It's nasty,
cankered.
Yeah, man.
Corrupted. They're corrupt. 29 and 14,
yeah.
right? Job,
guys. Yeah, Job 29 and 14.
Yep, Job 29 and 14 says, "I put on righteousness, and it clothed me. My judgment was as a robe and a diadem."
Yeah. So, of course, it's all speaking on the physical, because that's what we did. We explained it. Right, like it was, of course, a law that was set upon our ancestors, our forefathers, to wear it, or as a reminder, because that's all stubborn Jake B. That they have to have a visual reminder of what you're doing and how you're living your life, and and first and foremost, who are you serving? Which power do we come in? And of course, we come in the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and of course, those garments, the garments that we have, and there's nothing wrong with having. Just to get this out the way, garments maybe of a imitation of an ephod, right? Yeah, actually, the scriptures themselves tell you the ephod in itself is a memorial.
Yeah,
because that's what it is. Oh, it's a spirit. Because today's 9/11.
Yeah.
Esau himself got a memorial, meaning a remembrance of things, and that's why they erect monuments and such. Of course, today's being 9/11 over there in New York, you have where I forgot the actual names. I know it's the World Trade Center, but. Nevertheless, the towers themselves, where they once stood, all right, there's a monument, all right, as a memorial, as a meaning and remembrance of the thing
of what happened.
Yeah, of what happened. And what occurred. The Lord is a huge destruction.
And for us, the border of blue on the fringes is a representation of the law, statutes, and commandments that Yahweh Shem Yahushai gave us, which was our guide to what made us holy. What made us holy and separate from everybody else is we got the answers to life within our law, statutes, and commandments in the book of life, the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, we're supposed to think upon the law. All right. You know, when we look upon the border blue and on our fringes.
Yeah. Did you have anything else? Any scriptures?
Not off the top of my head.
I
was gonna get what you got.
I was gonna have one to close out, but if you had something else, bring that up.
What did you get to close out?
Revelations 16 and 15.
Oh yeah, let me get something different.
Okay. Yeah, and I wanted to add also. Again, this all comes full circle because yeah, sure, we talked about an actual physical attire that we're supposed to wear, but also, what righteousness is also likened on to just that, an attire. All right, and that's what the Lord is. That's what the Lord is waiting for too. You can read about that in Matthew the 25th chapter. Those virgins, because those virgins have to be prepared, and we're likened onto those same individuals to be prepared.
Oh yeah.
Before Yahushua returns, man.
If I can say real quick, everything is spiritual because what do you have nowadays in not only Western society but in most societies? What do you have? The attire now is basically you naked. And it's spiritual, shameful because even right now, look, you got two women of the Northern Kingdom walking around showing everything, right? Mm-hmm. Well, in ancient times, everybody was covered up, right? Well, that's how it's supposed to be, man. When you're covered up, it's seen as modest, it's seen as righteous, and it's true, right? But now what do you have? The people's spirits are corrupted. Now they're butt naked, literally. Even men too. Even us men, we're not technically dressed the right way. Okay, we're wearing pants and a t-shirt.
Mixed fabrics.
Yeah, but we're wearing mixed fabrics. And in ancient times, where you didn't have on a frock over your clothing, you were considered naked. You weren't supposed to go around showing your shape. You're supposed to, even if your t-shirt and pants fit you a little loose.
Be conserved.
Conservative. You know, if I can get this, Isaiah 52:1. Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion. Put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem. Yeah. The holy city, which it's a people before it's a place, because Jerusalem, the city, the physical city, ain't gonna put on garments.
Yeah,
it's the people.
That don't make sense.
Yeah, that don't make sense. Why would a city put on a garment? You know, a physical city. No, that is a representation of the people Yabashim Yahushua, the Hebrew Israelites, right? It says, the holy city, for henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and unclean. Shake thyself from the dust, arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. Now, everything is spiritual. Put on thy garments. What does that mean? Right? Put on the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's what that's talking about. Because essentially, what? When you put on your garment as a Hebrew Israelite, what is it going to have? The border blue and the fringes. What's that? The law, statutes, and commandments.
Yeah, walk with the Lord.
Yeah, walk with the Lord, man. And physically, and spiritually. Physically do it. It's spiritually meaning in the mind. It starts in the mind, and the physical follows right after. Simple.
Yeah.
It ain't that hard to understand. Mm-hmm. And shake thyself from the dust and arise. Yeah, because what? Once you put on the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua like a garment, like we got in Job, I put on righteousness and it clothed me. What's righteousness now? Faith in Yahweh Shai. Mm-hmm. AKA doing what he told you to do. That includes keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. After you start keeping the faith. Right? Mm-hmm. So clothe yourself with the righteousness of the Lord. You see? Clothe yourself in doing what's right in the sight of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right. Okay, you can close it out.
Yeah, man. This is Revelation 16 and 15. This is leads right into it. It says, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame.
Yep.
Right. But we got to remember, too, the Lord is a man that's, of course, a jealous power. Because this is a man whose eyes is keen on watching his children, his sons, and just mainly his sons, man, Israel. Mm-hmm. So here it is. You hear, you see our people, just having dreads, having the traditions of this world, not having the traditions that the Lord gave you, man. That's, right. That's why the Lord set up his prophets, so that way they can tell you, hey, what to wear. You get your shirt on backwards. You got your shoes on the wrong feet.
Where your socks at, bro?
Yeah. You
got no socks on, bro.
So the Lord is literally fixing us up physically, first in the mind, spiritually. And then what? It's going to show off physically, man.
That's right. Hey, Salak, go ahead.
Yep. No, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I was going to say, because when you first come into the truth, and not every brother was like this, but when you first come into the truth, what you got? You getting lineups. Before you know any better, you might be getting goatees, shaving off a lot of your beard or something, or balding the shit out your beard or something.
Maybe you knew you were Israelite and you were wearing t-shirt garments.
Yeah, that too, yeah. Or you could,
polo t-shirt garments.
Yeah, polo t-shirt garments. I seen what's his name? What's dude's name? From Sakari, Alazar. I seen him. He had on a real live Polo Ralph Lauren with fringes at the bottom. That's crazy. But anyway, you know, well, like I was saying though, you know, when you come up to the camp, that's what you look like. You kind of look like a Gentile at first. You kind of look a little heathen, right? But then what? Yahweh Shem Yahushua starts to change your mind, and you start growing in the faith. Next thing you know, you're not cutting your beard off no more.
Yeah.
You know, you stop getting lineups, stop getting tattoos, and you stop dressing. If you didn't dress right, that's another thing too. Some brothers might have been wearing clothing that was too tight. Then you realize, like, yo, that ain't manly. You know, you might not have been dressing like a real stand-up man of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, right? So you put those things off.
Yeah, and then the Spirit of the Lord literally clothes you.
Yep, literally.
You know,
That's right.
like a man that really needs that shame to be covered. Mm-hmm. And that shame is it's not there no more.
That's right.
You know, so hey, look, you know, if you have anything else, you know, Lord's willing, this video is edifying to you, Akim. We're gonna close out by giving infinite praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem HaKakodash. Again, double honors to the apostles and elders. I agree most on men who teach and rule well, and peace and blessings be unto you, full of Akim, your brothers that also push out this word in truth, faith, and in sincerity, and as well as to the faithful listeners, we say shalom.
Shalom.